Hi, this is Margaret from dataminingdna.com. If you take a look around my channel, you'll see I've got a series of video tutorials on how to create family tree templates in Microsoft Excel. Well, I was asked to do something similar in Google Sheets. I'm going to walk you step by step through creating a 5-generation family tree template in Google Sheets. And this is the completed version. You can see there's lots of space for the first name, last name, and then I like to have the birth year and the death year. I'm going to give you the precise column widths to set, the precise cells you're going to be working with, and how to create these connector lines. Don't worry about scribbling notes. I've got a companion article which gives you the exact details as to where you're going to be creating each entity. If you think it's all a little bit too much work and you just like the finished product, we have a done for you bundle that's about the price of a good cup of coffee. I'll put a link in the description below, but if you want to do it yourself, just follow along and you'll have a great looking template at the end of it. We start with a new blank sheet, and the first thing we're going to do is set the column widths to get the right layout. The first column we're going to do is column A. I right click the column letter here, right click the A, choose resize the column, and we're going to set this to 53. I then am going to set the columns that will hold the names, and in order to set them all together, you can click on one, hold down the control key, and then so that's B, E, H, K, and I need to scroll over a little bit to get at N, and there is N. So now I right click, choose resize the selected columns, and this is going to be nice and long at 144. Now I'm going to set 4 columns, C, F, I, and L. Right click, resize to 45. And finally, I'm going to set some narrow columns. Click on D, G, and I get J, and M. Right click, resize to 8. I'm now going to create the first box on this template that will hold a person, and it will hold a field for the name and a field for the dates. I'm working with cells B16 and 17, and to create a box I want to put a border around them, so I select the 2 cells, expand the border menu in the top ribbon here, and choose outside border. I then want to set the font type and size. Now Arial is the default option in Google Spreadsheets. I like to use a narrower font in order to fit the longest of names into the box. There are a number of choices of narrow fonts that come with Excel, but if you just click on more fonts, and I'm going to type in Archivo, and this is the one that I like for the name. It prints out nice and clearly in a small size. So I'm just choosing Archivo Narrow, click OK. I'm going to leave this at the font of 10. I'm just going to type in a long name for you. As you can see, that's a nice long name, and that prints out nice and legibly. The second field is the date field. I like to have a visual difference between the name and date font. So I'm actually going to choose a different font for cell B17. I'm going to choose a font called Barlow Condensed. Click on more fonts, and I'll just type in Barlow, and I choose Condensed. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit narrower than the name field, and suppose I set this 1920 to 1970. I now want to set the horizontal alignment of the date field. I like the name to be left aligned, left justified, but I like the dates, birth year hyphen death year, I like that to be centered. So up here where its default is horizontal line, I will choose the center. And the last thing I'm going to do with this particular fields is I'm going to format it so that long names don't spill over outside the box. What do I mean by that? Well, suppose I set this to Archibald Postlethwaite Wigan Botham. That's going to spill into the adjacent field, which is not what I want. what I want is for this name to be truncated. The easiest way that I find to achieve that is to put a space into the adjacent field, the field to the right, in other words into C16. I'm going to just put a space there. When I come down, you'll see that this name is now truncated. I don't need one for the dates. On the other hand, you may prefer to add location details in here, and therefore you would want to truncate it. So I will just put a space here for completeness into C17. I'm not going to set any coloring to this box yet. That's purely because I don't know whether you are male or female. We'll come back to the home person at the end. I'm just going to clear out these texts because I'm going to use copy and paste as much as possible. I don't want to repeat the steps to create the border and the font. So I am going to copy. Make sure you copy the 4 cells because I want that space. So I'm copying B16, C16, B17, and C17. That's 4 cells. Hit copy and paste them into cell E8. And as you can see, that creates our border. It's put the space here, and these will be in the correct font, Archivo narrow. The next thing I want to do is to set the background color or the fill color for a male ancestor. I like to use a light blue for male. So I'm selecting cell E8. This is where the name goes. I go up to the fill color in the ribbon, which is here. And the light blue that I like is light blue 3. For the dates, I like a contrasting color, and I actually keep the dates the same color in every single box. I'm going to choose a light gray. So I am going to expand fill color, and the light gray I like is light gray 3, which is this one, light gray 3. So now that I've got the coloring set for my first paternal ancestor, I'm going to speed up this process, and I'm going to copy the 4 cells. Remember, take the spaces as well. Copy the 4 cells into a whole lot of other fields. Now I'm going just to toggle to the article. I've copied the 4 cells of the first paternal ancestor, and I've given you the list of cells that you're going to paste what's in the clipboard into each of these places. Just work your way down. So I'm going to go into fast forward mode. So now we have the male ancestors in place. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the first female ancestor, which is the mother. So what I'll do is I will copy my plain cells here, B16, C16, B17, C17. Make sure you get the 4 cells and paste it into cell E24. And I like to set the color for the female ancestors to be a light orange. That is this light orange 3. And then I'll simply set the field here to gray. In fact, I'll just copy this gray here. And here we go. That is the first female ancestor. And now, I guess you know what's coming next. I'm going to take the 4 cells here of the mother. That's E24, F24, E25 and F25, copy them to the clipboard, and then you will find in the article in it's step 7, creating the other female ancestors, you'll find the list of cells that you're going to be pasting your clipboard into. So starting with H12 and all the way down. And I'll just speed up that process now. That is the female ancestors done, and I would suggest that you set up the colouring for the home person. What I'll do is I'll set the date colouring, and I might set this to light green 3. Is that light green 3? Yeah, light green 3. Now we are going to do the connector lines. By that I mean, let me just toggle over to the finished product with this fork style. Back to my working spreadsheet. When I created the Microsoft Excel version of this template, I used shapes. Specifically, I used the line shapes to fashion those forks. You can, in theory, do the same thing in Google Sheets. You would go to Insert, Drawing, and choose the line. Say this line, draw it down, get the right widths and lengths, etc. You could do it, and I spent a solid day trying to do it in Google Sheets. It was a horrible experience. The drawing lines in Google Sheets it seems to be half baked as a feature. So I did not continue with that. Instead, I resorted to a workaround which is probably just as good. I used the formatting of cell borders. So to create a vertical line using borders, I am going to select cell D9 down to cell D24. So this is a connector line from one spouse to another, or one parent to another. And I am going to put a left border along that set or that range of cells. So up to the border control, and I choose left border. I then want a small horizontal connector line here. So in cell D, I'm selecting cell D, I'm going to add a top border to what's already there, which is the left border. So I just choose top border. I'll just click away so you can see that that has now put in a little border here, and it's kept the left border. I do the opposite in cell D24 in that I choose a bottom border, which is here. And then the final line I want to simulate is a horizontal line along this here. So I am placing my cursor into C17 and I'm choosing a top border. I click away and you can see I have the fork as I want. So to create the connector lines from the second to the third generation, in other words, from parents to their parents, it's a similar process, it's just less cells. So I'm selecting cell G5 down to G12, I'm choosing left border, then adding a top border to the first G cell there, which is G5, top, bottom border in G12. All of these cells, by the way, I've named them explicitly in the companion article. And then the top border in cell F9. And here's my trick for you to speed up the process from now. You don't have to repeat the individual border settings. We'll just use copy and paste. So I'm going to select the range of cells from F4, G4, basically all the cells that contain these borders. Go down one here. I'll copy that range, put them at the top of where you want to go, which in our case here is F20, and paste. And just click away and you'll see that that is exactly what I want. And that is what we're going to do for the next generations too. We're just going to do one set of borders and then we're going to copy them down for the rest of the ancestors in that generation. So here we go. And now I have that set formatted. Copy the range and put them at the top of where you want them to go. So that is from third to fourth generation, and my final set of lines from the fifth to the sixth generation. And now I am going to copy this range of cells down to the rest of the ancestors in that generation. Just click away and take a look at this and see how it's looking, and that is looking great. That's it. That is a 5-generation family tree template in Google Sheets. Suppose you want photos in your tree. I've left enough space. That's why this column A exists really. It's to have a little bit of space for you to put about a 90 times 90 or 100 times 100 pixel photo here, or 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter here. Quite a small photo. So you've got enough space to the left of each of the generations to add in a photo. Again, I would say that in terms of positioning photos so that they align the way you want them to align, that is easily doable in Microsoft Excel. It's a little bit finicky. You kind of can nudge it nudge the image around to get it aligned perfectly. In Google Sheets, I just couldn't get the photos that I added to align. They'd be a little bit above in one place and a little bit below in another place. But anyway, if you want to put in a photo, I would advise you to go Insert, Image, and then you're not going to fit an image in the cell, you're going to insert an image over the cells. And then the image will, once you choose that, you will be selecting an image that you've prepared. It's either on Google Drives or on your uploaded from your desktop machine. And then once you've inserted it, it'll plonk it kind of reasonably close to where whichever cell you had selected. And then you've got to nudge it into place. It may look fine to you, and it may just be me. So give it a go, and it may be what you want. So the last thing to tell you is that, just to remind you that when you go to print your tree, I mean, you put in your names and dates, etc., and do whatever you want. When you go to File, Print, be sure to turn off the grid lines. So that is, you expand the footing here and uncheck Show Grid Lines. Now, every time you go to print your saved Google spreadsheet, just remember to do that, and it prints out in landscape mode as a single printed page. Right, if you made it through this far, well done. I hope you have a lovely formatted spreadsheet. If you made it through this far and think, well, that's a heck of a lot of work, don't want to do it, check the link in the description below. We have a done for you bundle available in our store.